Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Entering into our 16th minute of fame. It's the Audience of One show right here on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you tend to get your podcasts from. On today's show, we discussed the fate of one of our favorite clothing items, the demise of a hitchhiking robot, and Scotland has had it with cats. I am Andrew, maestro of the run sheet. Next to the guy who cuts all of his food before eating it, it's Dick, next day fajita meat, Schisler.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Was there another track laid over the Mr. Skeel's song there? I swear. Oh, yeah.
I was inspired by the halftime show.
Yes, Mr. Kendrick Lamar's halftime show.
So,
What'd you think of it?
It was really great. It's like I don't know who Kendrick Lamar is, like at all. I don't know any of his music, and I was sitting there watching it, and I go, I feel like I'm missing the point because clearly something's going on. And
it was laden with symbolism and so, meaning, all kinds of things. If you were on the outside looking in, I can understand how it made no sense.
Well, my favorite part was when Serena Williams was dancing.
Yes, and crip walking, as they call it.
And I go, why is Serena Williams there? Like that's like
part of it.
I was like, is that his girlfriend? Like, I was so confused. And then when that mustard guy came out, I was like, he's not doing anything. He
created the beat.
Well, I know, but it was just more of like one of the things. Like I missed out. I don't know what's going on.
There was a lot in there,
because he just awkwardly had a football and was dancing around. I'm like, is that like his best friend? He's like, hey man, I'm doing the halftime show. You're my best friend. You want to be on stage with me? And they're like, yeah. So it was really to me that's the story I told in my head. I go, what a cool guy doing that for his buddy.
Yeah, no, the story is a lot better than actually your story in your head.
And
to be honest.
Well, I know. And then I looked it up, and I was like, something's going on with this because I'm way out of the loop. And then it was actually kind of funny to me. Quite
a move for Kendrick Lamar to bring in Drake's ex-girlfriend there just for a cameo in a song
because it made more
sense.
He's
completely slamming him. It was good. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to sit here and say it was the best halftime show because I'm like you. I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. I probably had heard 2 of those songs on there. But I will admit it was entertaining. It was good, and he's obviously very skilled at his craft.
I thought he had burnt his hands or something because he had those gloves on.
He did have gloves on.
And I was like, does he have like a hand thing? Is that something I missed?
That I don't know. I'm not aware if that was symbolism of anything. It may have been, but I will say this. It was probably
because he's moving around so much.
One of the most culturally relevant Super Bowl halftimes we've ever had because it was so up to the minute in terms of what's going on in pop culture, whereas typically the Super Bowl is very, very risk-averse and very milquetoast for the most part. They've kind of loosened up here in the last couple of years. Milquetoast with some of the artists that they've had on. So this was outside of their comfort zone.
Compilation
and I enjoyed it.
I enjoy their compilation ones.
Yes, where they put together several artists. He basically was all on his own.
That was fun
until he had SZA out there at the end.
I don't know who that is. But
you are so out of it and so uncool, man.
No, really.
She's great.
I was watching
Look her
that.
Up. She's fantastic.
When I watched that, I was like, I feel like there's something more to this, but
there is a lot. We could probably do an entire. Well, no, I guess we couldn't since this is not your thing. But if it was your thing, we could do an entire show just on the cultural relevance of this halftime performance.
But then again, the game itself was very entertaining because
actually, the game was terrible.
I wanted the Chiefs to lose just because it's fun to watch that.
Yeah, well,
and I think after the second, I think it was the second interception, I was sitting there going like, "This is gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a good game." And then it got even better. And then when Mahomes just kept failing, I'm like, "That sucks to be that guy." They're throwing away those 3-peat shirts. And then,
I think Pat Riley, who owns the term three-peat, he I think trademarked it back in the 80s as the head coach of the.
That's so funny. You could trademark that.
Yeah, and he trademarked it because I think the Knicks were going for a three-peat at the time back in the 80s, and he's got the rights to that term, and I'm pretty sure he was set to make untoward millions of dollars selling Kansas City three-peat shirts, but
That's interesting.
Oh, they came up just short. Well, happy Galentine's Day. As we record the show the day before Valentine's Day, it's Galentine's Day.
Is that what they call it?
Yes. Are you not aware of what Galentine's Day is?
No.
Okay, so it's funny. I did look this up because I've heard this over the last couple of years, but it's a holiday that celebrates women's friendship. And it says Galentine's Day is typically marked as February 13th, but technically can be observed on any day. But apparently this came into existence in an episode of Parks and Recreation way back in I think 2010 or 2011. And it just sort of became
from a show.
Yeah, it just became a thing. It really it's a fake day that has now become. I actually saw Galentine's Day cards in the Kroger.
I never heard of it, but then again, I don't.
Well, it just goes to show you how made up all of this crap is.
Well, yeah.
Something that was on a show can now become mainstream, just like Valentine's Day.
Well, you know what's funny is I didn't realize Friday was Valentine's Day, and I was talking to this girl and trying to set up a hangout because you know how I'm pretty structured with my time.
You're so structured. Let me tell you.
Well, I'm busy all the time.
Oh, so busy.
I go, I just not thinking about it. She's like, when are you available? Like, let's do something Friday. Like, I get off early. Like, we can actually have like an early dinner and we can go do something. We can go to see a show or do something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like 2 days later, 3 days later, no response. And I was like, are you like, is Friday not work? You asked when I was available. That's when I'm available. And it's like, it's Valentine's Day. And I was like, so? Like, that's not.
I just assume someone as structured as you would know.
Well, I meant more of like
You probably wouldn't have been able to get a reservation at any place nice anyways.
Yeah, but we just go. We just do whatever.
Well, I think we need to have a guy's like a Galentine's Day, where you wake up and you start drinking old fashions at like 10:30 a.m. Go out to the golf course, play golf for 5-6 hours, and then come home and play Diablo 4 all night.
Yeah,
something I don't know. Galentine's Day.
Yeah, no. It was just funny to me because I was totally oblivious, and apparently that created some friction. I was like, I'm not trying to. Like, I just wanted to hang out. I go, we can go out Saturday. I don't care. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm sorry it didn't work out for you. I know you're a big Valentine's Day guy. We've established that over the last 2 years of this show. Yes, 2 years now.
Yeah, no, I definitely in the past did not care about Valentine's Day.
No way. No way.
And that has got me in a lot of trouble too.
I imagine that has. You have to at least give minimal effort on Valentine's Day. You just have to. It's the rule.
It's so stupid. It is so stupid.
Extremely stupid. You're preaching to the choir over here, buddy. Trust me.
Well, that's one thing. Like, I remember being in relationships with girls, and that like one girl particularly did not care, and I was like, I'm gonna marry this woman. I didn't marry that one, but
the one that got away.
Yeah, the one that got away. I was like, this is great. That means there's no expectation from me. It's just another day. Mm-hmm. I'm like, we can go out, we can do whatever. And
well, getting back to the Super Bowl, I think it was this Super Bowl in particular. I can't remember one that I was just less interested in leading up to. Didn't really care much about it. And I ended up watching the vast majority of the game anyways, just because, including the halftime performance. But this one just really wasn't on my radar. But I do think it's interesting that we have taken something like a football game, the Super Bowl, and turned it into something that's not the Super Bowl. Something that we already like to watch, like the football.
Yeah.
And made it into this spectacle of something that's completely different. It is just a cultural, iconic
think it was. I thought it was just a good game.
But the Super Bowl itself is, it's
well, the start of it.
long.
The start of it was terrible because they kept having song after song after song, and I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. It's something much larger than the game itself. That's my exact point. Did you see Tom Cruise did something beforehand? He was talking about he wasn't.
Well, it was a
little montage or monologue.
Yeah, it was kind of a hype up video.
Yeah, like a hype video. And we had just talked about him last week about how he hadn't seemed to age, and it looks like he is.
Yeah. Well, he looks normal.
Starting to. Good. No, he doesn't look normal. It appears as though he's had some work done.
Good for him.
It kind of looked like Tom Cruise if Tom Cruise was wearing a Tom Cruise mask.
Yeah.
Something just wasn't right there.
But again, they had like it was almost like the Lord of the Rings movies where it's like there's like 13 starts.
Yeah, you never quite know. You're like, oh, now it's going to... Now we have another hype video. Oh, no. Oh, now we have another song.
Okay.
Oh, now we got this guy on a trombone shorty. Although that, by the way, was great. The America the Beautiful in the New Orleans theme was pretty darn good. Trombone shouty.
Yeah. And then like Lady Gaga in the middle of...
Yeah, in the middle of Bourbon Street doing her thing. Yeah, there was a lot, like I said, a lot of fanfare. that just has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the actual game of football. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I didn't.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was. Again, it was. What I love is since Tom Cruise did a hype video, that meant this is an important game.
Oh, it must
'Cause
be.
They got Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
like,
didn't he rappel down? Was it just last year he rappelled from the top of the...
oh, is that what he... See,
No, it wasn't this year. It was last year, I think, because he was promoting Mission Impossible 4, and he rappelled from the rafters. And then this year he just came out in his weird Tom Cruise mask on top of his regular Tom Cruise face. And, again, promoted something. I don't even know what.
Because I was sitting there going, like, the only thing I think about Tom Cruise of football is that movie, All the Right Moves.
No. He was where he was the agent with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Well, I meant like he played football.
Oh, played football.
But yeah, that's another. I mean, is that really another football movie?
Nah, it's more of a business of football movie.
But
Show me the money.
yeah, I was trying to connect the dots here. I'm like, why is Tom Cruise relevant to football?
Why is any of that relevant to football?
So,
None of it was.
Yeah. Who should they have gotten to be the hype? They probably should have gotten The Rock, because didn't he actually play football in
did.
college? So I would have gotten him.
I don't think it matters, honestly. They could have gotten anybody.
Yeah. We made good food. That's all that matters. And I had a gallon of
Whiskey.
nose. So a funny story.
No way.
I was.
I love how I say the word whiskey. You're like, I've got a story.
Well, that morning, for some reason, I wanted to make. My job was to make the snacks.
Snack Dick.
So I wanted to make queso.
Dick, the snack man.
Yeah, and the day before we were cooking a brisket, and we made some really delicious sausage, and we saved it. I'm like, I want to make.
I feel like you say we made very delicious sausage every other episode.
It's true, and I was like, we're gonna put this in a queso. It's gonna be so good, but I forgot Velveeta, and
that's the key ingredient to queso.
That's what they wanted, because I was like, hey, I have like at least 12 cups of cheddar. Like, I can make homemade queso.
Sure.
And they're like, no, you just get Velveeta. And I was like, well, I don't have any. So I went to H-E-B on Super Bowl day.
Oh, I did too. By the way.
And it was insane.
Uh-huh.
So after about 4 passes in the parking, I go, I'm just going to order a giant tub from the local taco place that's down the street from the house I'm going to.
Smart idea.
So I get there, and it's my boy. The guy, I don't know his name, but you know that.
You have a boy at the taco place?
Oh, yeah. And he comes in, he's like, oh, Dick. And I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, oh, you want a table? You got all your friends coming? I go, no, I just need like the biggest jug of queso you got. And he's like, okay. And he goes and brings me this. I mean, it's big.
Is it like an infinity barrel of queso?
No, it was, I think it was 64 ounces.
God. All right.
And it was like $30-something. And I'm sitting there going, like, worth it. I don't have to go. Then he goes, hey, just to let you know, we have a special on margaritas to go.
You did. Yeah, you did. Let me guess. You took some margarita to go.
And then I'm like, oh, I like that. Yeah, I'll do that too.
You're thinking, I wish the Super Bowl was every day.
And so I get to the party.
This is the best day ever.
And I think it was pretty hot outside.
I believe it was on that day.
So no one stayed outside but me and my buddy. And
just bathing in the queso and margarita.
Oh, and I had this gallon. I was like, aren't people going to drink this? And no one else came out.
Oh, it was a gallon of
margarita?
It was a gallon? I was anticipating like a single serve.
No, it was a gallon of margarita. And I'm sitting there, and we got ice for it. We got cups with ice. It's like on the rocks.
Are you going to tell me you just drank a gallon of margarita?
Yeah. No, what was funny was I got it for everybody.
Awesome.
I got it for everybody, and I made one for my buddy and I while we're cooking and doing stuff. And people came and got their food. Maybe 1 or 2 made a margarita.
Yeah.
And it was 3/4 full still. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have another one. Like, no one else is drinking it. And then by the time halftime came around, I was like, I really want another one, but I'm afraid like someone else is going to want one, right? Like, there's people here. Mm-hmm. And at halftime, I was like, screw them. I'm drinking margaritas for the rest of the night. Like, if they're not going to drink this, I want to do that. And so, yeah, it was a great Sunday. That's probably why I enjoyed the game so much. And I didn't realize how much I enjoyed margaritas on the rocks, because it was really hot outside, and it was a very refreshing drink.
That is the best way to have a margarita, in my opinion, is on the rocks.
Yeah, and it was just like the perfect feeling with the breeze and the sun and watching football. And it's like, and I had a cigar.
And all that cheese.
And I had that queso.
How was the bathroom situation the next day after 64 ounces of cheese and a gallon of margarita?
Actually, that's where I'm going tomorrow to pick up the rest of it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're going to go tomorrow for the first time since Sunday.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. But, yeah, it was...
Yeah, I made the same mistake, too, of going to the grocery store, H-E-B, as a matter of fact, on Super Bowl Sunday. I knew it was Super Bowl Sunday, and I thought, it's probably going to be a little busy in the morning. Oh, God. I got in. I tried for about 15, 20 minutes and said, I'm just not going to do this. It was so packed. I couldn't get the items that I wanted. There were, 2 and 3 deep sometimes in the aisle, and I said, just forget it.
Well, yeah, it was one of those serendipitous moments because I'm glad I went to the taco place. I'm glad that guy was working that day.
You discovered your love for margaritas.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm probably, because it wasn't that bad of a deal if you think about it, because I want to say it was $40 for a gallon. And I got probably at least 8 drinks out of it, and my buddy got.
So you spent almost $100 on cheese and margarita, didn't you?
Yeah, dude.
This is why you have a guy at the Mexican food restaurant, by the way.
And
some people have tailors,
Well, I overshot how much queso we needed. Cause I know
No. You got a guy who gives you deals on queso.
Well, it's like, it was one of those situations. I don't know how many people are going to be there. So I was like, okay, might as well just get a lot. So
that is a lot.
That's a lot of queso, dude.
Probably weighed a lot, too.
It was great. We we got the crock pot thing out, and we just poured it in that, and we put all the sausage and the brisket in it, and we put some hot sauce in it. No, I want to tell you this story, though. So on Friday, last show, right, Friday.
You almost hit your story quota for the show, by the way.
Straight up. And I had an observation for you, because a parking observation. I had this.
Yes.
I had these chores to go take care of, and that stale cracker guy, who I'm a big fan of.
Yes, you've mentioned him a few times.
I found out through his handler that all of his stuff is available at Walmart. Mm-hmm. So at like around 1 or 2, I was like, I'm going to go buy Jersey Mike's because I got a coupon, and I'll go to buy the Walmart. By the way, Jersey Mike's happened in place at 2 p.m. There was like 15 people in line.
It was there now.
I was insane. I go, what is so great about this place?
I'll keep that in mind.
The sandwich was good, but that good? I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll get to Walmart, and you know me when I park as far away as possible from everyone, but I parked by the exit.
Because that will be the only exercise you get for the day. Correct.
Yeah, that. I always try to be healthy, right? Mm-hmm. And so I can get out and just...
Oh, that's right. You do that in case of emergency. You can just get out.
Yeah. And so, but walking to the Walmart, going through the Walmart, I have 2 observations. Is people who go to Walmart are either they get lost in Walmart and they don't know where they are because they have that look on their face. Because they're like, yeah, is this... Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Yes. Even if people in the parking lot.
Could be a bird flying in there.
People in the parking lot, you don't know if they're coming and going. They're just lost. They don't know what's going on.
Okay.
And then also people who shop at Walmart, the way they, especially in the grocery area, they do their groceries by ethnic groups, not by like practical things like seasoning aisle, because they do it by, this is a Hispanic aisle. This is the Chinese aisle. Yes. This is, the African aisle. And so I had to go to like 4 different aisles trying to find this guy's stuff.
How diverse of you.
And I'm like, it's just Louisiana. They have a Louisiana aisle? There's no way. They have a Louisiana corner. And I was like, this is so stupid. Why wouldn't they just have this on the seasoning, like the hot sauces and stuff? Like, this is insane to me.
Nobody puts the coon asses in the corner.
But yeah, they did. It literally is in the corner of the aisle, of the deal. But anyway, I got that stuff, and then... But yeah, everyone seems lost in Walmart. It's kind of strange. But then when I get to my car, I thought I was being smart by parking at the end. Well, I forgot this is Walmart. Everyone cuts through the parking lot. And since I'm the lone car that's actually parked, they're going around me, dude. And I couldn't even, I had like 6 cars almost hit me because I just wanted to pull and go follow the line, right? Follow the arrows. Like right in front of me, like running through.
It was a popular place.
Yeah.
Again, Super Bowl Sunday, it's nuts.
Oh, this wasn't a Super Bowl weekend, I guess. But yeah.
Okay, leading up to it.
To give people Stale Cracker a shout, that stuff is really good. I had it all weekend, and their cayenne pepper sauce is probably the best cayenne pepper sauce I ever had.
Okay.
Better than Frank's.
Noted.
Better than Tabasco sauce.
Noted.
Oh, yeah. We coated the brisket in it. Oh, it's so good.
All right, buddy, let's go ahead and kick off this show because we've got a lot to cover here. A Florida man was recently arrested after leading authorities on a wild chase January 27th while wearing a Dalmatian onesie. Yes, that's right, Dick. He was avoiding police wearing your favorite clothing, a onesie. Dylan Keith
Onesie
Devereaux.
in the wild.
Dylan Keith Devereaux, 36. I'm going to read this to you if you'll give me just a second. Is charged with... Listen to this list.
Uh-oh.
Charged with fleeing to elude, which I thought fleeing was to elude. I didn't realize that they had to add that in there. Fleeing to elude, escaping, reckless driving, leaving the scene involving property damage, battery on a law enforcement officer, assault on a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer with violence, resisting an officer without violence, depriving a law enforcement officer of equipment, drug equipment possession, possession of a new legend drug, not sure what that is, possession of methamphetamine, pettit larceny, and pettit larceny. That's quite...
That's a onesie right there.
It's the onesie. I don't know if he just thought this onesie was going to give him extra special powers to evade the police, but it certainly did not. But it certainly came across my radar as I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this guy.
Yeah, I guess when you run into somebody that is wearing a onesie, you have to ask them, like, where are you coming from, something? Or
no, dog,
is it laundry day?
This is just my drip.
It's my drip.
I love it,
I think Kendrick Lamar should have had a onesie on.
No. I don't know if you want to show a picture to the onesies.
I'm trying to show it. Yeah, he's been in the background. I can't get it bigger, though.
He doesn't look too happy with the decision he's made, but he does look quite snazzy in his full-on onesie Dalmatian. Yeah. Or Dalmatian onesie, whatever you want to call it.
I wonder if he had anything underneath. I think that's why he's wearing it, because his pockets have been empty if you look at the picture.
Oh, yeah, true.
So I wonder if they did a cavity search.
Well, it's not like a kilt. I think you're allowed to wear things underneath onesies. I know you.
I know, but I'm thinking he doesn't, because they emptied out. You can see the little flaps.
Yeah, right, because they pulled everything out.
It's like, we got you. I like it, man.
Looking like the rabbit ears. Dick, are you afraid? Good God. I don't know why I said afraid. Are you a fan of Crocs? The shoes, Crocs.
I never owned a pair, so I can't
never
say
had
yes
a pair.
or no.
Okay, I just recently got a pair for Christmas upon request, and was granted that wish. So that was very nice. I believe my son got those.
I do have a regret with a pair of Crocs.
Do tell.
I was shopping with somebody. They were shopping. I was just there. And they had a pair of Crocs that had, like, the fur inside. You ever seen those?
Crocs with the fur?
Yeah, it's like the warm stuff, like slippers. Because the Crocs are slippers, but it had the warm stuff inside.
Are you talking about Uggs?
No, they were Crocs with...
Okay, it just seems counterintuitive because Crocs typically have holes in them, the ones I'm talking about, although they make all kinds of different Crocs now.
So they look like this. Here, I'm going to pull it up. So they look like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're showing the onesie. So it's fleece lined.
They're comfy and warm. Well, anyway, they were
I think we're pushing the limits at what Crocs can do, but go ahead.
Well, they're on sale for like $15.
Okay.
Usually, what are they? They're $20 here.
Sounds like a Croc.
But these aren't the brand Croc, by the way. But it looks like this. And I didn't buy them. I wanted some house slippers.
Those would have been
perfect. And those would have been perfect. And now every time, especially when it got cold, I wake up, I'm like, I wish I could have.
Well, I'll say this: they have had a bit of a renaissance here lately, and they've gained in popularity with the teenager. But this story is interesting. A debate has been raging about the look and style of Crocs since they were first introduced in 2002. But now some schools are banning them as a safety hazard. At Bessemer City High School in Alabama, Principal Stoney Pritchard has declared that his school is a no-Croc zone. Get this. This is a quote from a man who is supposedly in education. It's actually a safety hazard. Man, they can twist the knees, twist the ankles, things like that. Wearing Crocs at this high school can land kids in in-school suspension. This is an educator. But he does have a point. They are not the most tight-fitting of shoes. But when I saw this originally, I thought it was because of all of the adornments now that kids can put on the Crocs. Are you aware of these? I think they're called gibbets.
Yeah, I'm on the website. I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, gibbets are really...
gibbets?
Well, I wish I would have invented gibbets because the inventor of this probably has his own island now. But these are things that fit inside those holes of Crocs, and you can put all kinds of things in there. And I assumed kids were putting inappropriate things. But if I were to guess, it probably has to do more of that, and he's just using the excuse of it being a safety concern.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just wanted to put this warning out there to you and all you Croc-loving onesies that it could be coming to a school near you where it can be against the rules. Yeah. You will suffer the consequences.
That's a good story, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. You talked about, I think it was before the show,
Yeah.
Did you say something about water?
Yeah, I had to drink a lot of
Yeah,
water.
okay,
today.
yeah, because of all the margarita. I had to counterbalance all the
Oh
margarita.
yeah,
right?
that was not a smart decision to start the week. I did learn that because there's a lot of sugar in margaritas, not alcohol, of course not.
No.
But yeah,
I couldn't remember if we said that
I've been
on the air or
parched
off the air.
all week. Like
I bet.
it's been bad. Like I can't taste anything.
Well, according to Our World in Data, yes, that's an actual thing. The United States was the top consumer of municipal water for drinking and cooking until 2003 when China surpassed it. But still, Americans are holding on to second place and sit steadily above other countries. Compared to the European Union, for example, U.S. adults are drinking how much on average per day, do you think?
In England,
No, U.S. adults.
I don't know.
I'm going to compare
Like,
the UN,
I would say-
the European Union.
I don't know, 20 cups.
20, I don't have cups. You're going to have to do ounces. How many ounces are in a cup?
36 ounces.
Well, that's not 20 cups. Aren't there 8 ounces in a cup? And so you went from 160 ounces to 30 ounces.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
No kidding.
I meant like 3 cups of 12 ounces.
Okay, so 36 ounces. Well, that's a little bit better. This says Americans are drinking on average 57.5 ounces of water per day, while British adults are drinking an average of 33.8. That seems like a lot of water. That's the average.
I don't drink that much.
I can tell you right now, I have made an effort, a concerted effort, some might say. In fact, that's the only time I use that word concerted, if it's followed by the word effort, to drink more water. And I think I'm probably up to around 36 ounces now a day. If I drank 55, 60 ounces a day, I would piss constantly.
Yeah.
But apparently we are overhydrated. And of course, they are attributing this to 3 different things. One is a strong health messaging, because it's good for your body, Dick. 2, social media hype. Oh, you know how it is these days. People get on social media and extol the benefits. And it probably has everything to do with the hydro flasks that everybody carries around now,
Yeah.
which is a fancy term for water. And then, of course, the trendiness of it, which I think goes hand in hand with the social media craze. And this actually does state the hydro flask as having a certain status symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems like a lot of water, man. Seems like a lot of water.
That's not a big deal.
I don't know.
If anything, it's really good. I like it. I thought it was just because we actually have a fair system that cleans water.
In certain parts of the country, we do.
Yeah.
Certain parts. I've seen some areas or heard some areas not so good.
Yeah.
When I was in Palm Springs, California, that's out in a desert area, so they have to pump their water in from good distances or through high-pressure jets. So when the water comes out of the tap, it's covered in bubbles, or not covered in, but it almost looks carbonated. And so you hold it up to the light, and you can't see through it. And you're thinking, oh, my God, I'm not going to drink this. And then immediately, within about 4 or 5 seconds, it clears. And they even have signs. This is not murky water. Our water is actually very clear. It's bubbles from being jet in. It's
Pretty cool.
pretty cool. I don't know. That was kind of a lame story. Well, from drinking
Lame.
to eating, you won't find this lame. A man who has only been identified as being in his 40s told doctors that he ate 6 to 9 pounds of butter, cheese, and hamburgers every day for 8 months and nothing else. When he arrived at Tampa General Hospital with yellowish nodules of cholesterol developing on his palms, soles, and elbows.
No.
This guy ate so much butter and meat, the cholesterol started to rise to his skin, dude. This is a word to the wise for you over here going, oh, sausage, brisket. Oh, so good, dog. Every week I'm making it. Yeah, you're going to come in here with like yellow spots on your face.
Okay.
I said during those 8 months, the man said he completely cut out all carbohydrates, including bread and sugar. He said originally he felt great. He lost weight, he became more energetic, and had more mental clarity. But then he started developing yellow lesions on his eyelids. And over the next month, the yellow lesions began to spread. So, Dick, let this again be a word to you, buddy. Mix in a carrot or two, bro.
Yeah, that's great.
Mix in a carrot or two.
Yeah, margarita. Put a gallon of margarita in that diet.
I guess. Last story here before the break. Have you ever heard of the sort of a cultural phenomenon that was popular a few years ago? The
When you
Hitchbot.
beat your wife.
The Hitchbot.
Oh.
Were you familiar with the Hitchbot?
No.
This was a robot that was invented in Canada, I believe, Ryerson University. And they had this social experiment where they built this robot and put it out in
hitchhiking bot.
Yeah, the hitchhiking robot, and they put it out in Canada in the attempts that people would pick it up in one spot, move it to the next, and have this robot move about the country in a gentle manner. Well, they wanted to move it to the United States and had hoped to make it from San Francisco to Boston.
Trying to find a picture of
Relying only on strangers, like I said, to pick it up and place it. It's actually going to be the picture of our thumbnail. Oh. Well, the child-sized robot known as Hitchbot was found damaged beyond control or beyond repair on the streets of Philadelphia. It had early hitchhiked across the entire state of Canada for 26 days and completed a hitchhiking adventure through Germany. But once he hit the mean streets of the United States, he didn't last too long.
Well, the one thing I'm kind of curious about this.
They decapitated him.
Well, I mean, it probably got hit by a car. Let's be real.
No, I think they ripped his arms off and probably somebody did something dirty to him, if I had to guess. I don't know. This is just not an American thing. Like, you can do all this sweet, gentle stuff in Canada, relying on the kindness of strangers. But here in the United States, somebody's going to see that and go, there's this gay-looking robot.
No, I
rip his arms off.
Honestly, I'd figure someone would just be like, oh, that looks cool. I'm going to pick it up and just take it home. You know? Think about it. Think about in those rural areas, like people like all the random people things. I mean, we talked about how they had seahorses or sawhorses. What was like the what are they called? Remember, you had the art of all the seahorses. Or
no. It was it was toy horses.
Yeah, but it was like carousel horses.
Yeah.
But he had an art like in the whole.
And nobody really knew who was doing it. People were just collectively, putting this together.
The yard. See, you can see someone just grabbing that, like, oh, I think my kid would like that. That looks cool.
But he wasn't stolen. He was dismembered. Yeah. I said he started in San Francisco. He started in Massachusetts, and the goal was for him to end up in San Francisco. It said he started in Salem, Massachusetts, visited Boston and New York before being found dismembered on the streets of Philadelphia.
Wait.
A photo on Twitter showed Hitchbot lying in the dirt with his head missing and his arms ripped off.
Yeah, no, they have a video of it.
I know. It's what I'm saying. It's awesome.
This guy's just beating him.
Yeah, I don't understand. We're taking out our aggression on this poor child-sized robot, man.
Hold on, is this real?
I mean, yes, the Hitchbot was real. The video you're watching, I don't know if it's real or not. It wasn't approved and put on the run sheet, so I don't know exactly what you're talking about. But I know that the pictures I saw online of him dismembered were certainly real.
Okay.
But I think it's an interesting social experiment, and it does really show you the difference.
Man. I like it.
It didn't make it very far here in the United States, man. I don't know. All right, man, it's probably a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to discuss going to a party to purposely get sick. Right here on the Audience of One show.
Like you going to a strip club?
Hey, you know what? I don't even want to do the story anymore. Never mind.
I want to go to a strip club.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gold Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
You are the onesie. You are the onesie. You are the audience of onesie.
Don't scare them off.
And we are back to part 2.
Creep them out.
To part 2. You know, I just had a thought. I need to send you a funny video I saw this morning.
Okay, please do.
And you're going to have a good laugh.
All right.
I'm very excited for you to see it.
Is it anything like the video I sent you last week? I don't think we could discuss it here on the air. I so wish we could. It was a fake movie trailer for it.
Oh, I thought it was real movie.
No, unfortunately. I don't believe it is an actual real movie. It's a fake 3-minute trailer about a group of young adults that are going on vacation out in in the wilderness, I guess, in a cabin, and there is a ghost in there that performs lewd acts on the men.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a real movie.
I can't describe it because it is very sexually graphic. Too much for the radio, but it makes for a hilarious trailer of 3 minutes long of watching these men try to escape this woman who is trying to perform. You know, I'm kind of surprised you did not, Dick, have a pair of Crocs. That kind of surprised me.
Really?
Yeah, because they're fairly stylish, and I know that you are not a person who's overly concerned with stylish, but it did get me thinking about this during the break of as you get older, it is more of a challenge to try and dress with some style without trying to look like you're dressing with style, you know, because I want to look good.
That's me every day.
Because you want to look good, but the older you get, the harder it is, and so you try a little harder, and then you just look like you're trying to look cool, and that's not the look I'm going for. But Crocs are one of these things that they cross generations. Teenagers wear them, and your grandpas can wear them, and it works just fine. So
I wouldn't wear them in public.
Somebody unlocked the secret to fashion that blends
What about
generations.
jeans?
Yeah, but see, the thing is with jeans, there's a lot of variation there. You're not going to have the same pair of jeans that grandpa wears at your teenage kids. They're going to be either flared out or tight. By the way, we didn't even talk about Kendrick Lamar's jeans, which...
Are we supposed to?
Well, they're all over the place now because he came out with these jeans that were flared at the bottom, basically bell bottoms.
Are those women's jeans?
Well, they did kind of have a feminine style to them in that they were tighter through the thigh and then belled out. I, for one, am here to say I loved them, and I hope that this is the end of skinny jeans. I hope this starts the bell-bottom revolution.
Skinny jeans to me would be a great gift for you. I'd get that if I had all the money in the world, like every birthday, Christmas, I get you a pair of skinny jeans.
That is the worst design
I would
in
love
clothing
it.
ever invented. Skinny jeans it benefits no one. No one.
I think it would be great.
So I'm here.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I hope. Thank you, Kendrick Lamar, for bringing back the bell bottom.
That's the only thing I get.
Or
people.
at least the flared pant.
That's what I should do. I should change my life and start giving gifts to people, but I could only give skinny jeans.
Right as they're going out of fashion. Look what I got for you.
For sale rack. I got to connect. I got a guy that I can
This is called the low circulation cut.
Yeah. I get it for everybody. Like
that
no matter
cannot
what.
be possible.
No, it's a baby.
I can see the outline of your genitals. That cannot be possible.
It can be a 2-year-old. It can be a grandfather. I don't care. They're getting skinny jeans.
Skinny onesie for the baby.
Yeah.
Skinny onesie for the baby.
Oh,
I did not have any park observations this week. I know. Sorry to disappoint you, onesies, but I did have a grocery store observation. This was not this week. It was last week. I saw a dad there with 2 daughters, and one of the daughters attempts to put some Fruit Loops into the basket.
Oh, nice.
And the dad turns and says, "Put those back. That has red dye in it. That has red dye in it." And, of course, the little girl starts crying. And I guess this has everything to do with that red dye ban from a few weeks ago. And so this dad was telling her, and he didn't even have the respect to put a number on it. He just said red dye. He didn't even say red dye number 4.
You got them poison.
You got them poison. And I'm just going to say he did look like the type of guy who would be overly concerned about red dye and yelling at his crying 5-year-old daughter.
Yeah. See, that's why I really want kids, so I could yell at them.
I felt so bad for her. It's got the red dye. Put it away. Anyways.
I would like to yell at kids.
You asked me last week if I were a lawmaker what I would ban, and I said I didn't know, but I was going to think about it. Well, I did my homework.
Okay, cool.
I am going to ban the auto start-stop on automobiles. And this is the thing where you come to a slight stop, the engine shuts off, and then when you let off the brake, it starts back up.
Like emissions thing?
Oh my! I don't care what it is. It's an annoyance thing. And I hate it so bad that even when I'm crossing the street on foot, and someone will come up to the stoplight, right there,
you can turn
and
it off.
I hear their car start up and stop, it annoys me. I want to turn and be like, turn that crap off.
You really,
you'd
be a terrible neighbor.
I think it is, I really am.
I would have so much fun if you were my neighbor.
I think it's Big Starter. It's a conspiracy from Big Starter. Meaning you're going to wear that starter out in half the amount of times you normally would, ergo, starter making more money.
I don't think it kills the engine completely.
It sure does.
There's no way it does.
Absolutely it does. Now, have you ever gotten into your car?
I don't have that problem though.
Then you don't know how it works.
No, I drove in my dad's truck, and when I was driving that truck, it freaks me out at first because I was like, I even texted him. I was like, you got something going on with your engine.
Yeah,
dog."
it's not normal.
And then I looked it up, and you can turn it off.
You can, but I'm saying they
but
should just
you-
make it the default to not be on. If you want it to be on,
Yeah, that's another thing. Well, no, what they should do is any type of alteration for cars, you should be able to set a default.
correct, and you cannot turn those things off.
Because I think
Like
I
as a
think I
default.
told you that with my hybrid, they have a eco mode.
Isn't the whole thing supposed to be
That's
eco?
what I
That's the
thought.
whole point of
And-
having a hybrid.
Yeah, and I was like, why can't I just make that the the standard? And then
You
when I
have a
wanna-
good point there. Why do hybrids have eco
Yeah, I
mode?
didn't really understand it.
That doesn't make sense.
So
That's what I would ban, though. I'd ban auto start stop. It's the stupidest thing. Have you ever just gotten into a car and not fully started it, but just kind of either turned the ignition key back when they had keys, or just hit the start button and it doesn't fully turn the engine on? It'll turn the radio on, the air
happened-
conditioner.
again, that's happened to
what
me.
that's what it's like when the engine
Yeah.
stops. It keeps the air conditioner and the radio going, but the engine is effectively off.
yeah,
Stupid. And you ain't saving any gas, people. Come on.
I wonder if that a cockfight's going on this weekend. That'd be great. Oklahoma, I'm coming, baby.
Okay, that's right. Oh, yeah, when does that law go into effect?
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
I'm going to get away. It's just a misdemeanor now.
Well, I learned how to play craps the other day, and I really want to play craps, so I can go to Oklahoma and play craps.
Okay, yeah. Craps is a cool game.
It really is. I was like, because I'm not really a big gambler, but when I learned how to play that, I was like, this actually makes sense to me.
You know, I think there's the world record for the longest crap streak is like 154 rolls
How
in
much
a
money?
in a row. Oh, the amount of money the casino lost was untoward millions because everybody wins at that
That's
point.
probably why they have a max.
They might now, but I
Yeah,
think I've heard about this
A
before.
lot of tables have maxes now, what you can have on the table.
Yeah. I believe this woman won like $30,000, and the
That's
the
it?
entire table ended up winning over $1.5 million or
She
whatever.
wasn't
Yeah.
betting right.
Well, yeah, she probably only had so much. You know, it takes money to make money, Dick. Those of us on the poorer side of the equation don't have a lot of money to gamble.
But
so.
yeah.
Do you ever wonder if, like, children of millennials, small children now, who have basically had their entire lives put on social media, from the time they were born all the way until their time they're teenagers, without their consent, mind you. You know, oh, look, here's little Timmy taking his first steps, or here he is at his birthday party. Do you ever think that one day, when their parents get old, their kids are going to get back at them and put videos of them, like, drooling in a wheelchair? Really confused as to what's going on.
I think
And be
that's
like,
one of my favorite videos. You have the
my turn now,
I think
Gramps.
it's a dad or a grandmother that has like a breathing machine, and the guy farts in it.
Okay.
I was like, that's pretty solid.
I just have a feeling that all you millennial parents, you need to be careful because one day you're going to be old and your kids are still, whatever social media app is popular in 40 years, you're going to be on it drooling, not understanding the halftime performance, and they're going to be posting it to all their middle-aged friends. It's going to happen.
It is kind of funny, especially when you do like a social study of it, because of how people change throughout their adolescence, and especially like if you remember. I think you're like a generation before me, right?
I am, yes.
So you weren't really around goths.
Oh, no, we had goths, for sure.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, we didn't really call them goths as much. They were new wavers, man. I'm Gen X. I'm towards the end of Gen X.
I know,
they were
but like
new
the
wavers.
goth thing always got me
I guess it...
because
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any. Oh, she dropped the cake.
Oh, no, so there is a big...
Did she drop the cake?
I don't know.
No one really cares.
There's a big celebration going outside the studio.
I thought they dropped the cake. I was like, oh, that's
I think it was
bad.
just the box.
Good. But no, out of all my friends, I don't think one of them continued the goth thing
Well, yeah.
today. Like, you know,
It's not generally a look that equals employment in older
Yeah.
age. Yeah, it's definitely a fad, Dick.
it's just interesting.
Have you
to
ever
me.
met an adult goth?
Well, I don't.
That would be great.
Well, I mean, like I met dudes who wear eyeliner, but they don't have the full goth look where
Right.
they have spikes on their jacket or
they
whatever.
just think it makes them look nice.
Yeah,
Really brings out my eyes.
I'm down for it.
Would be weird to see like a, I don't know, 74-year-old goth.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Well, they had that. I forgot what it was.
And I guess that's Gene Simmons. If you
Well,
think
no,
about
they
it.
had like because punk has been around.
Forever since the 70s,
Yeah.
late 60s.
Yeah, so they did
70s, really.
they did like a thing on
Dead
television.
Kennedys. They kind of brought it in the 80s.
Yeah,
really,
they,
the 80s.
they
I
did
guess.
something on television for like the pioneers of punk, and they had like the top 15 artists, and they were still dressed like punks. And
Oh yeah, that's what. Okay.
And it looked funny.
Now we've had this discussion
it looked
before.
Funny.
We've had this discussion before about when you become famous with your look, you have to keep that look going throughout your career because that's what you're known for. And what a beating it is to be Lenny Kravitz. He can't just walk out of his house without wearing the bandanas and the tight jeans and his abs showing because he always has to be Lenny Kravitz. So if you're a punk band from the 1970s, even early 80s, yeah, man, you're going to be in your 60s, 70s now, and you still got to be rocking whatever the punk look is. I guess, what is it, flannel and ripped jeans? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever's anti-establishment, right?
That's true. I like it. Yeah.
I got a really interesting story here. And by the way, I don't think we're going to cover the parties that you want to catch something at. We'll do that next week. I removed that from this show's lineup. A man died after being found unresponsive, listen to this, Dick, in a palm tree 25 feet in the air just yesterday, Wednesday, according to the Las Vegas Fire Department. All right.
I like it.
Hold on now. 25 feet up in the air. First of all, how did this guy get up into the top of a palm tree? The fire department crews said they worked to rescue the man stuck in the tree in the 2000 block of East Bonanza Road, blah, blah, blah. But the man was unresponsive upon arrival and died at the scene. It is not known immediately if the man was a tree trimmer. I'm like, well, wouldn't there be tree trimming stuff down on the ground if that was the case? But it did say, this is the part that really got my attention, 2 tree trimmers have died in Las Vegas in the past decade while trimming palm tree fronds. That seems awfully high, man.
Nah, not really.
What? I mean, there are a lot of them down there on the strip, so I guess the odds are, but...
I mean, that's their job, is to cut down giant trees.
Right.
Freak accidents, dude.
Now, maybe hit a power line, I could see that, but they would know the power line is up there.
So you
But
think?
if
Let me
you
ask
just
you
see
this.
a guy up in the
Let me
tree and
ask
there's
you
nothing
this.
down
Do
on
you
the
think
ground-
This guy climbs this thing and he goes, "Oh man, I forgot my cell phone," and he's like, "I guess I just can't get down."
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like cat.
I bet this guy was drunk on drugs and for some reason climbed a tree.
Yeah, he's on bath salts and scaled a palm tree
And
like a cougar.
Yeah, and then it just...
And then it wore off and he went, oh, God.
Because you'd think he'd be like, help, help. But no.
You would think, man, that is just odd to see a guy up
Actually,
in a
if
tree.
anything...
Because there'd be ladders and stuff if he was a tree trimmer. Or maybe the rest of his crew, they'd be like, hey, Frank, come on down. And they would alert the police. But no, apparently someone just saw a dude
This story
up in the
this
tree.
story gets me to ask more questions. It didn't
That's
answer
what I'm
anything.
saying.
Yeah.
This story has
Imagine that's how you
literally-
murder people. Like, say I murdered you in my house, and then I'm like, oh, I know where to put the body. In a palm tree.
No one's going to expect a
Yeah.
body in a palm tree. Now, I can understand the 2 other people if they fell out of the tree.
Well,
that makes sense.
well, the
This
other
guy
death-
was still in the tree.
The other death that collapsed on his chest. So
Yeah,
clearly,
it said 500 pounds fell onto his chest.
Yeah.
And another guy, fell out of the tree. But no, this one guy, he fell up in the tree.
yeah, he's probably on drugs and climbed a tree and then died in it.
What if he fell out of like a drone and fell into the tree from above?
Yeah, it's Las Vegas, dude.
It's
Ain't
Las
nothing happened.
Vegas, man. That is so weird. Speaking and staying on this theme of weird, did you hear about the asteroid that is headed towards our very planet
Cool.
Earth?
Is it going to hurt anything?
This, they're saying it has a pretty good chance of hitting the Earth in the year 2032. This asteroid, discovered just after Christmas, is named 2024 YR4. Again, the lamest names they come up with this stuff. Well, back in December, it had about a 1.3% probability of hitting Earth, but now the likelihood has increased to 2.1%. Dick, are you a little nervous?
No.
Okay, so you say you're not nervous, but let me put it to you in a little bit different way. If I told you right now as you walked out that door of the studio, there was a 2% chance you would be vaporized, would you not think at least twice
But
about
one shot,
walking-
though, right? It's not like a continuous thing.
Yeah, let's just say it's once. You walk out of that door right now, there's a 2% chance you're going to get vaporized. Aren't you it's at least going to be on your mind. Like, geez, what the hell's going to happen? 2% chance. I mean, that's low, but...
Yeah, but you know when
Good
this is
God.
going to happen. And it's one shot.
Yeah, but I just asked you if you were concerned if it was going to happen. You said no. But if it's a 2% chance that you
Yeah,
get...
I wouldn't be concerned.
I think I might be a little
I'm okay.
concerned.
I'm
I think I would take the back door is my point.
I've lived a great life.
Have you?
No regrets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're gonna go live on the air, start screaming all kinds of things because you're thinking this is it. You walk through the door, and that 98% chance comes true, and you're like, oh crap! Now I got to go back in and apologize.
No, why would I apologize for? I never apologize.
No kidding.
No. It's kind of funny. Last night we're bowling, and this was you know how you mishear people sometimes.
Every now and again.
Well, I was
sure.
walking by a table of people who I know, and I thought they were talking bad about me. And I hit a strike. I turned around and just flicked them off. And they were not talking about me. And so when they look over and saw me do it, they're like, "What's your problem, buddy?" Oh. And I go, "Oh, you guys weren't talking about me? No, screw you, dude." And I'm like, "Fair." And then I walked off.
I don't know how you've made it this long without just getting your ass handed to you.
No one wants to beat me up. It wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, you're kind of right. There's no joy in that.
Yeah, like think about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like beating a stray dog. There's no
Yeah.
fun in that
Unless you're just a monster. And I don't hang out with monsters anymore, okay?
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, the Scottish government wants everyone to know, okay, everyone, that it has no plans to ban cats.
Yeah.
First Minister John Sweeney was forced to
they're
issue
annoying.
the statement after a report by independent experts branded felines as a threat to Scotland's wildlife and suggested, quote, containment measures, unquote, to be considered to reduce the damage. The Scottish Animal Welfare Commission said cats kill at least 700 million birds and other animals each year in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, dude, they're
vicious
nuts,
little
man.
killers,
They're
man.
nuts. Well, you ever seen an actual barn cat?
Oh, yeah. I lived out in the country, man.
So they're awesome.
We had cats, yeah.
They're kinda
I
awesome.
don't know if we called them barn cats, but yeah, they would.
Well, I use that
They would bring stuff
to
to
make
the
it
door?
different from normal house cats.
Yeah, okay.
Because when I say a barn cat, that means that they haven't been declawed and all. Actually, no one really declaws anymore. By the way, I found that out.
Well, that's inhumane.
I found that
They
one
do
out.
need those claws for all kinds of things, like
And-
scratching their butt and defending themselves.
Yeah. One of our cats didn't come back one time, and it was like the funniest to me because I like animals, but it's when they die, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
my mom went to go visit my parents, and they had two sister cats, and I only saw one, and I was like, "Hey, where's the fat one?" And they're like, "Oh,
About that.
about that. She never came home." And I go, "Is that a big deal to y'all?" Like, it's like, "Oh, I mean, we let them out. They're out there and they're doing stuff." And I go, "Then why even bother have this other one? Like, who cares, right?" And it's pretty funny. I was like, to my mind, I was like, it just never came back. We don't know. In my mind, I'm like, you're gonna find this dead cat.
Oh, yeah.
Out in the out. Like,
No, the thing about cats is when they decide, somehow they know this is it. They go off and never be found again. At least they have that courtesy of just never
I
returning.
think dogs do the same thing, don't they?
No, dogs just die right
they
there.
do the
in living-
they do the
just-
opposite?
Yeah, they just go right in the living
They're
room.
like, "Oh, you're on the toilet, dead."
No, they don't have the decency to go off somewhere
No.
else. Well, in Australia, they took a different tactic. And in the year 2020, the government announced that they want to kill 2 million free-roaming cats, a large chunk of the feral cat population, which is estimated in Australia to be between 2 and 6 million. Some areas of Australia have gone even further. In the northeastern state of Queensland, there's a council offering, it says a $10 bounty per cat scalp.
Which is really funny to me because have you not seen the rat problem in Australia? Have you ever seen that? You ever seen the videos?
No.
Here, I'm gonna pull one up for you.
Well, the rats
Dude,
might be so big, the cats
it
don't
is-
mess with them.
It is. I want to pull this video.
Cats
up.
are messing with little mice. I think rats are too big for cats, I think. Oh, man. See, those are mice. Oh, that's really nasty. And this is
Yeah.
in Australia?
This is in Australia.
Yeah, those are mice.
So,
I bet you they don't have mice problems in Australia if they have cats. But rats are big.
Look at that.
Rats are the same.
Look-
Oh, my God.
look-
That's disgusting.
look
So
at that.
if you're listening and not watching, Dick is showing a video of, I guess it's,
It's different farmers around Australia, and it's just
and
the rat.
it is
Look at this.
infestation levels of, again, you keep saying rats. They look like mice to me. though.
Same thing. Oh, look at the
No,
dogs.
they're not the same thing.
Oh.
Mice are almost cute. Yes, they're pets and nasty, but they're almost cute.
Yeah. Yeah, they're called mice. I guess they're different. I don't know. Dude.
Well, if you're thinking about making a little cash, go down to Australia and shoot you some feral cats. Speaking of cash, the Super Bowl.
I think you have to use a bow and arrow too.
What the for a cat. That's awesome.
I remember reading that.
That it makes it fair, Can't use buckshot and
that would be awesome.
Widespread shot or something like that. Speaking of money and whatnot, making some money, the Super Bowl charged $8 million for a 30-second commercial. And it did get me thinking about the benefits of having and spending that kind of money. I really think you and I could have benefited from having an audience of one show commercial for $8 million.
I got a credit card.
Right? And it's got to have at least a limit of 9 or 10 million on it. I think we would have benefited more from it than, say, I don't know, Cheetos. Right? Cheetos is already such a known brand. They go out and spend $8 million. It's not really going to see a bump. But for us, can you imagine the web traffic we get after the Super Bowl has a, I don't know.
I don't really remember any of the commercials.
No?
Not really. Well, I think that's because for some reason the fad of the Super Bowl commercials now are released.
Serious.
Well, no, they release the commercials before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they do in some cases.
So,
somehow Jesus has an advertising budget now. He's always advertising.
Those are so great.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I didn't realize that God had a lot of cash, but I guess he does. They're all real serious now. I do miss the days of like GoDaddy when you thought maybe you were going to see some boobs if you went to the GoDaddy.com, but not anymore.
No, they don't do that anymore.
I know. I miss those.
But yeah,
it was a better time back then.
When I saw the Jesus one, I'm like, man, Jesus is getting desperate.
He's got to advertise during the Super Bowl.
He's getting that. But yeah, I remember when that Shane Gillis one with Post Malone came out a week or two ago. I thought it was really funny, right? And then when I think I had it during the Super Bowl, I was like, okay, I already saw this. Like, what? Why do they have this again?
Oh, man, kindness, spread it. Spread it.
No, he gets us.
Oh, he gets us. That's what it is.
See, it worked. I know it.
Look at that.
There
you go.
You do it, Jesus.
What was that?
You do it, Jesus.
That seemed vulgar. Timothy Scott McIlvaine, a 55-year-old Cloverdale resident and now registered sex offender,
what a great transition.
Was convicted by a jury in October of last year after authorities painted a picture of McIlvaine's harassment at a Costco location in Ukiah. On May 30th, 2024, McIlvaine drove 30 miles north. He drove 30 miles out of his way to go to a Costco and grabbed a female Costco employee serving samples without her consent and attempted to expose himself to another one before she finally confronted him. So this is the situation. Have you ever been to Costco or like Sam's? And they got the little chicks out there that are, serving samples.
Is it always women?
No, I don't think so. I think it's probably predominantly women, but I think I've seen guys selling samples of like frozen waffles that they've just heated up, or like some jellies
Salsa,
that they spread on there.
We get it.
Yeah, well, this lady had some samples, and he's thinking, you want a sample of this? And he pulls down his britches.
Nice.
Tries to grab her, but they said they found him in the line. He was trying to pay. Like, oh, nothing happened here.
Dude.
Let this be a lesson to you, Dick.
That'd be a wild thing to see.
I know, can you imagine? But it wasn't just one woman.
Well,
it was two. You got to play the field, I guess, man.
You're not going for the Guinness Book of World Record?
I bet it is a world record. The previous record was only one.
How many times can you expose yourself to women in a Costco? That's the Guinness Book of World Record.
Just leave the sample girls alone. They're just trying to do their job. Okay. Oh my God! I just thought it was kind of funny. Yeah. Man. How we doing on time, bud?
We got like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Ooh, okay. Well,
let's do the quick hit.
Okay. I want to do this really, really quick. This was an interesting Super Bowl related story, so I want to do it this week because timeliness. John Schmidt apparently played in the Super Bowl in January of 1969. He played for the Jets, and they won. And afterwards, he went out to the Waikiki beach and surfed, and of course, he was wearing his new Super Bowl ring at the time.
Cool.
Well, what he didn't realize is after 4 or 5 hours being out there in the water, his finger shrunk, and of course, he lost his Super Bowl ring right after he won it in 1969. Totally distraught. Well, apparently there was a local, and he looked for days and days and days after that, could not find it. There was a local lifeguard.
Do you know why your fingers shrink when you're in the water?
I don't, but you're going to tell me.
It's so you can grip things better underwater.
Are you just making that up?
No, that's true.
So if you got little chubby
like
Charles sausage fingers, you can't grip things.
When you go pruny, water goes away, so it gets pruny. That way you can grip things easier underwater.
Interesting.
It's evolution,
bro. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't understand why it doesn't happen to my butt.
Oh, it probably does. You just can't see it.
Yeah, I got to grip things.
You got to grip things with your butt. I don't know why you'd need to do that. Well, apparently
You don't go diving.
A
Then.
local lifeguard the next day, or one of the next days, found his ring, brought it into his house to his aunt. I guess he was living with his aunt. They didn't think much of it and threw it into their jewelry box, and it sat there for decades. Well, eventually that lifeguard passes on. That house goes to his estate. I think it was his niece, his great niece. She finds this ring. She's like, this looks like a Super Bowl ring. This was probably circa 2011 at this point.
Well, it says world champions on it.
Yeah, exactly. So they take it to get it appraised to see if it's real. Turns out, yes, it was. It was a Balfour ring, who was the manufacturer of the rings at that time back in the 60s, and ended up finding the owner and reuniting him with his ring 40 years later.
What a wonderful story.
Kind of a cool story, man. I thought about making this a quick hit, but there was a lot more to it than just a quick hit. I thought it was kind of interesting. I told it a little faster because, as you told me, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
All right. Quick hit here at the end of the story. Dick, do you know who Vladimir Mikhailovich Komarov is?
No, of course not. He's Russian probably, and he probably sucks.
Actually, it's Vladimir Mikhailovich Komarov.
That's kind of a tight name.
Yeah, Mikhailovich. I'm brutal.
So what about him? What about
Anyways,
him? Teach me something.
He was a Soviet test pilot, aerospace engineer, and cosmonaut. In October 1994, he commanded the vessel Volkshot 1, the first space flight to carry more than one crew member.
Cool.
Yeah, he became the first Soviet cosmonaut to fly into space twice when he was selected as the solo pilot of Soyuz 1, its first crewed test pilot. However, a parachute failure caused his capsule to crash into the ground after re-entry on April 24th, 1967, making him the first human to die in outer space.
What? Dude. What do you think his last
And now
thoughts were?
he's a quick hit on the audience.
What do you think his last thoughts were?
I did say I was going to cuss on one of these episodes.
No.
And I was going to say it right now because I thought it was perfect, but, it'd be easy to blip out at this point.
Well, if you said it in Russian, I guess you can get away with it.
Fine.
That sounds German.
Yeah, it did, actually. I don't know.
That's...
Well, R.I.P.
See, that's got to be one of the weirdest things to encounter as, because I imagine when you're in the space program, there's at least 50 people paying attention to what you're doing.
At least.
Right?
Can't get away with it.
It's kind of like Apollo 11 that blew up?
Sure.
It was it?
And apparently Soyuz 1, too.
Well, just think about it. All these people are paying
Soyuz.
attention to you, and then it's like, oh, that didn't look good. That's not good. Oh, my God. He's dead. Because that would scare the bejesus out of me watching Apollo 11. Because everyone's watching it, and it just blows up. And you're like, there could be a chance, right? Maybe.
Is that an arm?
Is that-
Well, Vladimir Komarov, you are our audience of onesie of the week.
Yeah, that's pretty traumatic. Way to go, dude. I mean, congrats for getting... Well, he was the first guy to be in space twice, right? And then at least he died doing what he loved, I guess.
Do you really want to die doing something you love, though? To me, you'd want to die doing something you don't love. I've never understood that.
Well, sir, it depends on what you're doing. Like this guy, I don't think he wanted to die doing that because I don't think he just wanted to be an astronaut, right? But isn't that particular guy who... There was a guy who I would call an extreme sportist that died 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he was he built this snowmobile track. He worked for Monster and stuff, and he took...
This is sounding right.
Yeah,
sounding
and he took a picture of him. He's like, finish the ramps. And then 4 hours later, they found him dead.
Oh, God.
Like a freak accident on a snowmobile.
Well, he died what he was
doing
what he loved.
But me, I'm like, that's somebody who died doing what he loved. Is the guy who made that monster truck Mustang.
I don't know. To me, I think I'd want to die standing in line at HEB going, oh, my God, this is taking forever, or like the DMV or something.
Yeah, Ken Block.
Just kill me. That's when you want to die. Not doing something awesome when you're catching air, doing a 360 on your snowmobile. That's when you want to live forever.
Ken Block. You ever heard of that name?
No.
But yeah, he's the one that was a driver. He did I forgot the Hoogan Racing Division. You ever heard of that? Hoonigan?
No, dude.
Well, the cool thing about this guy, though, quick hit. This to me sounds like better than the lottery. Imagine this dude. You're an extreme biker driver. You're the co-creator of DC Shoes.
Ooh, nice.
So what do you do with the rest of your life?
Count money.
Well, think about it, as a thrill seeker.
And die doing what you
Yeah,
love.
think about it. Like, because when my buddy was telling me about him, because I had no idea who this guy was when he was talking about it, because we're watching YouTube videos of people fixing cars. Like, you ever heard of Kim Block? That guy's like world renowned for doing crazy stuff and all whatever. And he's like, but he died doing what he loved. And I guess that's
Okay.
I guess that's cool.
Again, we'll agree to disagree. I don't want to die doing something I love. All right, onesies, that's all the time we've got
That's
for
because you don't love
this
anything.
week. And I just want to die.
Yeah, you just want to die.
No, I'm in love with living.
It'd be
I'm in
great
love
if
with
you
living.
died on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad time to go.
Andrew. You got 2% today to die.
All right, onesies,
You don't
we'll
like
see
that?
you next week.
You don't like
Bye.
that? No, 2%.